Howdy everybody, it's me, Manic coming to you from the bunker system with a record day. I know it's the day after the day before, but I actually got some records today. I'm going to hammer through them pretty quick. But first of all, I'd like to say, you know when you're behind a car that's kind of going... I'm cutting that out because that's not true. I was going to say slow, but that's not always the case. Sometimes they're going real fast and going around corners and stuff, and then you notice in the back of the car the little tiny tire. They're driving with the little spare fake tire. I call it the little tiny tire. And you know, you can just tell, like where they're driving to, or what day it is, like a Sunday, that they ain't going to a garage to replace the tire. No, they're driving wherever they're driving on the little tiny tire. And I just think that's stupid. However, if you see a car driving on 4 tiny little tires, there's a thrifty person that knows how to save money and get by. I admire a person like that. Okay, right to the records. The Wilburn Brothers, Carefree Moment. I didn't know anything about them. I picked it up. 50-cent day, by the way. All the records were 50 cents. I picked this up because of the clown cover. It's a clown cover. This was a great abstract cover. There's an abstract cover for Bob Sharples and his orchestra featuring the Sandman. Tony Montola. I've got this album. I found a lot of duplicates for trade. 50-cent day. It's worth the trade because I can get $1 out of them anyway. At the record store I go to, that will trade me records, or that I will trade records at. Never mind, go ahead. This is one of his better albums. He made a lot of good albums, but this is a good one. I'm just saying, it's a good one. Private Press record. The Executives. They do a cover of Impossible Dream. The Impossible Dream, The Executives. Pick this up for trade. It's one of the more fabulous Three Sons covers. The Henry Mancini story. Oh man, my God, it's a 1970s cover. You know, you look at some of the covers he put out later on, you think, I should not buy that record. But I'm telling you, they can be great, because Henry Mancini was great. This is interesting. Rhapsody in Hues. I bought this because it's a Sherwin-Williams marketing piece. I worked for Sherwin-Williams in high school when I owned the '68 Ford Galaxy that I wrecked driving into a semi-truck doing 55 miles an hour. I saw my life flash in front of my eyes. It had nothing to do, no it did, I was on my way to work. So it did have something to do with Sherwin-Williams. The cover, the Earth the logo, you all know that. When I was there, the corporate office decided, we don't like it. We're going with the collar bar logo, which they also use to this day. But they took the porcelain signs off the building. They're about 3 foot tall. I got one of them upstairs. There were 2 of them. I took one of them. They were doing away with it. And then later on, when their business started to tank, they figured out that when you have a logo that's been around for as long as the cover of the Earth logo, you just don't change it completely to something else. That's advertising 101. Never mind, go on. For trade, Les Elgart, Best Band on Campus. Fun cover, clean record. This Paul Murat album, El Contrapasa, did I get that right? It's a really good album. It's got a really wild cover on it. The wild woman dressed up as the bird on the cover. Okay. It's easy listening music. He's a French composer. But this is one of his better records, and it's 60s or 70s. I don't know when this came out. I'm taking too much time on one record. I don't know. But it's kind of like light pop, but he always does stuff that's interesting with that kind of music. Okay. The Shawnee High School presents Bandorama featuring the Reed Rockaway and Possum Bands. Just the junior high school record, you never know. Budget Latin album by Digno Garcia. I have no idea. Obscure. A Gene Krupa best of, but it's on Verb, so it could be interesting. Song titles like Drum Boogie and Dark Eyes. Some good stuff on there. I've got this one, but I bought it again for trade. One of the premier, it's a very clean record. One of the premier fancy gatefolds. I was reading in Billboard and they called these a 4-fold. Okay, not a gatefold. I call them a double truck because in the printing business, like when you have one page, well, like a photograph that goes from page to a page is usually called a double truck. It's usually the center, the center spread. Gatefold, I heard while collecting records. But I just wanted to say Billboard in the 60s, one reviewer called them a fourfold. A Ricky Lee Jones album just because it happened to be there. Here's another Paul Murat album that you find it's trashed usually because the Phillips covers were thin cardboard, and this fancy die cut's always torn to hell, so I thought I'd save it even though I may already have a copy of that. Here's a Burt Kaempfert album I have that's kind of got a nice nifty spy cover on it, and the music's pretty good on it, inside on the record. Another Tony Mantola album that's decent as I remember. Provocative Percussion Volume 3. This is another gatefold released in 1961 that I think I most surely have. I don't remember. I don't have this. It's just a curious promotional record for Stereocraft, a record company called Stereocraft. Apparently this is introducing their ability to produce records in stereo. Delmore. It's an island calypso guy that kind of peaked real briefly. I think he may have been on the Ed Sullivan Show. I got one of his records since 1965. He's got a great voice, by the way. So kind of excited to get that. Another Enoch Light album, Big Bull and Brassy, which I remember as being kind of 60s pop good. This was curious. It's a record produced by Snuff Garrett, which produced some bizarre stuff. And I have no idea what to make of it, but you look at it and you think, do you have this record? Look at the cover, it's like, oh, it's got to be folk music or fife and drum or something. But there's covers of Hey Jude, Spin and Wheel, Boots Are Made for Walking, King of the Road, Light My Fire, Michelle. And just because it's George Stone with vocal accompaniments by the Vocalaires, it's a skating rink record. Who else? The Amboy Dukes, Journey to the Center of the Mind, good old early Ted Nugent stuff on there. The Now Sound was a brass sound in the 60s, introduced by a guy who I can picture his image on the cover of the album that he started the trend with, but I don't remember what his name is. Here's a Liberty Premiere album that I don't have, and their Premiere Series albums with the die cut. Why a die cut? Why would you pay to die cut this to have the type show through the cover like that? That's just curious to me. Italian guitars, I've got this, I'm going to trade it away. The fabulous Mr. X, the guitar player known as Mr. X, who nobody knows who he was, but he had to be a New York session guy that was under contract that played for somebody, in this case, Time Records, out of contract. And another Liberty Premiere album that must have been produced later on. And I've got this one, okay? It's a Tommy Garrett album, but it's the die cut, and they didn't pay to do the die cut. Or they failed to do the die cut, or something happened, but this black hole here, that's where the die cut is, where you open it up and you see, the woman on the inside right there. I don't know, it was just weird. I had to get another copy of it. I picked this up. This looks excellent here. The 60s excellent. The Tony touch, Tony Mantola. And what's cool about this is I haven't seen a photograph of Tony, and there he is on the back. There's an image of Tony Mantola on the back of that album. Now I saved this for last. Not that I think it's going to be any good, but it very well could be. It's a 101 Strings album with a really fabulous cover that I haven't seen anywhere. The models on the front are just dressed up like birds. Went on and on and on. Oh, sorry, there's like leftover sticky things on there I wanted to get off. Okay, that's it. That's the end of it. Play the thing. Oh, the musical selection.